All right, good morning, everyone. Clearly a very dreary start to the day out there. So if you are getting your morning going here across North Georgia, this is what it looks like for most of you. Cloudy, gloomy, a little bit on the wet side as well. Some of you, as you might have read, are seeing some snowflakes, but nothing necessarily heavy. It doesn't look like the accumulation of any kind of snow across anywhere in North Georgia, even the mountains, is looking super likely, maybe upwards of an inch in the highest elevations above 2,500 feet in the North Georgia mountains. But that's going to about do it. Our models progressed. If you were tuning in with me yesterday, late morning when I was on here, I was talking about how some of the models were kind of pulling back on our chance for any kind of snow. And we maybe were looking at some sort of wintry mix as far south as the metro. But as we went through the day, models continued to trend away from any kind of winter weather potential for us here in Atlanta and kept that up in the mountains. Essentially what happened is we were watching this cold core low, an upper level system, and models have a pretty tough time figuring out exactly how upper level systems are going to work. Not that they can't forecast them, but that's just really tricky, especially when you have these cold core lows interacting with another weather system that has been draped along the coast. So overall, just very complex and difficult. Essentially what ended up happening is that cold core low, the cold air, wasn't cold enough. It didn't get deep enough. The cold air didn't get deep enough to really cause that changeover throughout the overnight hours and into the early morning. But now we are starting to see some of that cold air spill in, and we are starting to see that changeover in some spots. So we're going to talk about where, but for the most part, just letting you know that we are going to have a cold, rainy morning. It will improve later, but it's just going to be a kind of damp, dreary day. All right, so let's talk about first, who is seeing any kind of winter weather? Well, you have to go all the way up towards Rabun and Towns County, maybe even in Fannin County, seeing a couple of changeovers of a couple of snowflakes, I guess I should say, a changeover into a couple of snowflakes. It looks like maybe some parts of Blairsville and Hiawassee seeing, again, just a quick turnover. A lot of it is just cold rain, maybe that like rain-snow mix, but a couple of flakes mixed in there potentially. And we will watch for that throughout the morning. It is possible that they continue to see snowflakes on and off, snow falling on and off, and again, maybe could pick up like half an inch to an inch of rain in the highest elevations, but other than that, it's a cold rain, which is continuing to kind of pull back now. Our coverage of rain continues to die down. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah, and Dana, that's exactly it. So good morning to everyone. Angela, Mizell, I hope I said your name right, Francisco, Dana. That's exactly why we ended up not seeing any kind of winter weather, because the temperatures at the surface, and we knew that from the beginning, aren't going to be cold enough for snow to fall and stick. We were looking, though, kind of up at the cloud layer for temperatures to be below freezing, to maybe have a changeover into a rain-snow mix or a few flurries that wouldn't stick to the ground, but you would see them fall. But right now it's just unfortunately a cold rain. In order to get what we were potentially seeing yesterday, where we could have flurries as far south as the metro, you have to have everything come together pretty perfectly, and unfortunately that just didn't happen. Even up in the mountains, though, so if there are any flurries falling, which we are seeing hints of some sort of snow up in the mountains right now, it's not going to really stick there either, because look, all the way up in Blairsville, it's 40 degrees, so that is well above freezing. Freezing, of course, the magic number is 32 degrees, and we are all above that right now. So any kind of snow that falls, this is why we're saying that accumulation is pretty unlikely, with the exception of very high levels in the or I should say the highest elevations of the mountains, because the higher up in the atmosphere you go, the colder it gets. So at the surface, it's 40 in Blairsville, but up in those higher elevations, it might just be close to freezing. So they might be able to get a slight accumulation if they have some snowfall for an hour or so. But right now, it's looking patchy at best for any kind of snow that is falling up in the mountains. So right now, it's just a cold rain. If you're heading out anytime soon, you just want to have the raincoat with you, something that'll keep you warm and dry. It's one thing to be cold, it's another thing to be cold and wet. That's not fun at all. And that's kind of the setup today, just a really damp, dreary day. So let's take you through the models here. As we head through the next hour or so, here's 11 o'clock. Notice you see that purple and pink color up there. That's essentially along the spine of the mountains there. We could have a couple of snowflakes fall and maybe some rain snow mix, kind of like sleet, those really slushy looking snowflakes, I guess, possible up in the mountains as we head into the late morning hours. Again, if there's any accumulation, it'll be in the highest elevations. For the most part, we're staying above freezing everywhere in North Georgia, so it shouldn't cause any problems on the roadways. But if you're hoping for winter weather, unfortunately, that only seems to be confined to the mountains for today. So notice as we head towards 11 o'clock, could have that changeover that's indicated by that purple color there into some snow. Maybe could have some light accumulation in the highest elevations. Otherwise, notice for most of us as we head towards lunchtime that we are going to start to dry out slightly. So our rain coverage will become a little more spotty. A lot of the rain will start to move off to the northeast. We could have some wraparound showers as the low that's been bringing us all of this rain continues to move out. We could have some wraparound showers that keep our rain chance in the forecast through around 4 o'clock. So if you're heading out between now and 4 p.m., wouldn't be a bad idea to just have the umbrella with you so you can be extra safe that you don't get rained on, because it's a chilly rain, like I said, and that's just not fun to be in if you get stuck in it. Not going to be heavy at all, but we are going to have the chance for at least some scattered light cold showers through the early afternoon. As we head towards 5 o'clock, maybe you are having a barbecue tonight for the Super Bowl, inviting some family and friends over for dinner. We will start to clear out by then. Again, it's going to be damp because of all the rain we got yesterday, the rain we've been dealing with this morning. The ground is still going to be wet, so it's just going to be uncomfortable. It's not going to be a beautiful Sunday, but at least you won't be getting rained on as we head into the evening for any of your Super Bowl Sunday plans if you do have any. It will be cold though. Temperatures will hover in the 40s. Here's a look at that accumulation graphic. So again, this is even lower than what we were seeing earlier today, maybe half an inch at best. All of the accumulation that is even impressive by any stretch of the imagination will be up along the Appalachian Mountains, all the way up through the Carolinas. Not necessarily here in Georgia, unfortunately. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Adolphus. Good morning. Hello, hello. All right, so here's a look at that Super Bowl forecast. Who you got? Everybody who's tuning in that is able to comment on our streams. Are we Eagles or are we Chiefs? Let me know in the comments. Take your pick. Unless you are impartial, like me. I'm kind of impartial. I'm really just there for Rihanna, okay, everyone? I don't think you even know. That's right. Our digital guy, Miles, he's clapping for me. Listen, I was telling Megan, the anchor this morning, who is an Eagles fan, by the way, that I am going to be so tired tomorrow morning because I'm going to be here for Atlanta News First Morning tomorrow, starting at 4:30, right? But I will stay up. I have been waiting too long for the Rihanna comeback, okay? That I am not sleeping through it. Just telling you right now. So if I look a little groggy tomorrow morning, if the bags under my eyes are a little bit thicker, you know why. I was not going to miss my girl Rihanna. I've been saying it for years. When is Rihanna going to come back? Tonight's the night. I'm not missing it. Okay, that is all. So here's a look at the forecast for tonight. Again, cloudy and damp, just not going to be super comfortable, but it will be dry. So if you are a grill master tonight, if that is your role, just be sure that you have the jacket on as you are grilling. And then as we head through the evening, temperatures will gradually fall into the low 40s. And then when you're maybe headed home from your Super Bowl festivities, it's going to be pretty clear. Skies are going to clear pretty quickly tonight once the sun sets. And so it'll be clear and cold by 11 o'clock with temperatures near 40 degrees. With those clear skies and the cold air settling in, we are going to wake up pretty cold tomorrow morning. Could be below freezing up in the mountains tomorrow morning. So up in Clayton, 29, Ellijay, you're at 30. The ground should be pretty dry at that point, especially because we'll have a breeze still today. So everything should evaporate before tomorrow morning. So we're not worried about any kind of black ice. I would still be extra cautious for any of you who maybe drive trucks and you drive up that way and you drive on any kind of bridges and overpasses. I would be extra careful, but again, I don't think that's going to be a concern. For most of us, we won't be below freezing tomorrow morning, but we will be very close. You're definitely going to need the coat tomorrow morning as temperatures, again, low to mid 30s to send you out the door. Let's see, Michael said he got the Eagles because you have a couple friends from Philadelphia. Okay, understood. I hear that. You gotta go with what your friends say sometimes when you're a little impartial, you know? If it's not your team, you just go for what your friends are rooting for. I hear it. That's how I am too. All right, so at the bus stop tomorrow morning, kids going back to school, mid 30s again, so a cold start. Be sure they have the coat. But take a look at this, guys. By the afternoon, it is going to be wonderful. Mid 60s, low to mid 60s, I should say. Lots of sunshine. It'll be beautiful, but can you spot the next cold front? Yeah, as we head into the end of the week, we're going to go from, first of all, the weather whiplash continues because we are talking about the potential for winter weather today in the mountains, and then even though it is slim, to spring-like air by Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then a spring-like cold front to move in and cool us back down just in time for the weekend, maybe bringing us severe weather as well. So enjoy the mainly dry. We could have a few showers Wednesday morning, but Monday and Tuesday, by the way, is Valentine's Day. I know there are a handful of men on here that are watching, okay? If you have lady friends, don't forget that Tuesday is Valentine's Day, okay? I know it's a commercialized holiday, but it still means something. So upper 60s for Tuesday. It'll be beautiful. Wednesday, a few showers possible. And then Thursday, for the most part, will be dry. But then the cold front moves in late in the evening, so that cold air will spill in during the day. In fact, on Friday, more likely than not, we're going to cool through the day rather than warm through the day because of the timing of this front. Now, we're still several days away. This is a Thursday, Friday event. The models have been trending more into Friday, but we'll be, again, watching it. It's several days out. But something that's important to note is we are several days out, and the Storm Prediction Center is already keeping an eye on this. So what you're looking at right now is a product from the Storm Prediction Center that has us highlighted in a 15% chance for severe storms. This is low end, but when you are highlighted beyond day 3, so for us, this would be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So this is day 5. That's when you kind of just take an extra listening ear to the setup, essentially, or pay closer attention to the setup. Because if the Storm Prediction Center is already thinking, we could have severe weather 5 days out, then you definitely pay closer attention to it. Now, I will say, Ella and I were both here this morning, and we were both kind of looking at models, looking at the setup, looking at the potential for severe weather with this. And this was issued yesterday, and it was updated early this morning, but we're thinking that this might actually get pulled back if the timing plays out the way that it is right now, only because if this is an overnight threat, the fuel for these storms that would make them severe is from the warm and moist air that's getting pulled in from the south ahead of this front. If we lose that daytime heating, then we lose that enhanced energy for the potential for severe storms. So we still will have wind shear in the atmosphere, but do we have enough to warrant for a heightened severe threat? Not necessarily seeing that right now. So we're going to watch this very carefully, but we're giving you a first alert for Thursday and Friday because of the potential for severe weather that we are looking ahead to along our next cold front. Good morning, Chance. Thanks for joining us. So let's take you through it. So again, Wednesday, we're going to have all this warm air surging in from the Gulf of Mexico. So the Gulf of Mexico, very warm body of water. Here's your little science fact for the day. So water has what we call a higher heat capacity. So it takes longer for water to heat up and cool down because it holds on to heat better than something like a grassy surface or your car or the concrete on the ground. You might notice when it gets cold outside, obviously if you stepped barefoot on your driveway this morning, your feet were probably freezing, but if it warmed into the 60s in the afternoon, it would be comfortable. Well, water doesn't heat up and cool down that fast. It's like a boiling pot of water. You know how it takes a while for your water to boil, and then it probably takes a little while for that water to cool down as well on your stove? Same thing with the ocean, but times the size of that by, 100 plus, 1,000 plus pots of water that go into the ocean, millions actually. So anyway, so there's your science lesson for the day. Water has a higher heat capacity, so when we are under the influence of the ocean, that's a warmer air mass getting pulled in. Hence our temperatures in the upper 60s as we head into this week. We'll also have some extra cloud cover, but we will also have the chance for some showers on Wednesday ahead of our physical front that could bring us the chance for severe storms. So as we go into Thursday, here's Thursday at 9 o'clock. Notice the front starts to knock on the door of northwest Georgia. The cold, dense air behind this front that is going to be very cold. Just wait until I show you the 7-day. That's going to sink underneath the warm and moist air. So cold, dense air is heavier. That warm and moist air is what we call buoyant, so it will rise as that cold air pushes underneath it and rides along that front. That's going to produce thunderstorms. Now, if we lose the daytime heating, you'll lose some of that lift, essentially, in the atmosphere, the energy in the atmosphere. And so that would diminish our severe threat, but we're still not ruling that out. It does look like if the timing plays out that this would be a late Thursday night into very early Friday morning, hopefully clearing by the time you all head to work on Friday morning so that this won't impact your morning drive. But now the thing about an overnight severe threat is you obviously have to have kind of an extra sensitivity to any kind of severe thunderstorm warnings that are in your area, because while you're sleeping, you need to have a way to wake you up so you know what's going on outside your home to keep you and your family safe. But again, timing on this more than likely will change in one way or another, and we will watch the evolution of that severe threat as we head through the next several days. So just something you want to keep in mind. Again, that's why we first alert. When we know something, you're going to know something. You want to circle Thursday and Friday on your calendar, because right now we at least have the potential for some heavy rain, maybe some thunderstorms, maybe severe storms as well. So here's like your 7-day forecast. We're going to drop that first alert pretty much by lunchtime today, but we still could have a few flurries up in the Georgia mountains, maybe some light accumulation in the highest elevations. We are seeing a few snowflakes out there right now up in the mountains in places like Rabun, Towns County, so over towards Blairsville and Hiawassee. But for the most part, nothing's going to stick to the ground. It's just too warm. Even the mountains right now are well above freezing. So it's only the higher elevations that we're really going to see any kind of potential for accumulation. Otherwise, expect a cold rain through the early afternoon. That will clear by the time we head into the evening tonight. So if you have any Super Bowl Sunday plans, you're looking good. We're going to wake up very cold tomorrow morning, low to mid 30s. So you're definitely going to need the coat tomorrow, but you won't need it by the afternoon. It's going to be super comfortable, beautiful, lots of sunshine tomorrow. Low to mid 60s for the afternoon. Valentine's Day looks great. We'll start cool. We'll end up in the mid to upper 60s. So if you're making your plans for Valentine's Day already, you don't need to worry about rain. You really don't even need any kind of thick layers with any of the outfits that you might be planning for Tuesday. Wednesday, we'll have the chance for a few spotty showers, about a 30% coverage, nothing crazy. It could be in the morning hours. So that's what it's looking like right now. So you might have a little bit of a wet commute for some of you on Wednesday. Thursday, we are going to be warm, spring-like, near 70. Might be a little bit on the muggy side, not summertime sticky, but a little bit on the muggy side. And then a cold front moves in very late Thursday. So by the time a lot of you are probably home from work into early Friday morning, it does look like this will probably clear by the time you head out for work on Friday. But something we're going to be watching very carefully. And then it's going to be very cold behind that. There's that cold air I was talking about. That's the low right now for metro Atlanta. So downtown, 30, which means those of you in the mountains, those of you in the suburbs, you're probably going to be in the mid to upper 20s. It's going to be very cold Saturday, but that doesn't look like there's going to be any moisture behind this front. We're going to dry out very quickly. And of course, Friday, because it's leaving so early, we're probably going to be cooling through the day. And so all the moisture will be gone by the time we head into Saturday morning. So we're not worried about any ice. We're not worried about any snow on Saturday. That is not a concern. But we will see a lot of sunshine with temperatures in the low 50s to kick off next weekend. So get through today. I know it's going to be a little dreary, a little cold, but enjoy it anyway. And then enjoy all the beautiful sunshine for the start of the week. And we will be watching very closely the evolution again of that cold front that's on the way for Thursday into Friday, and let you know ultimately what happens with this severe threat, if any. Again, right now it's looking possible Thursday night into Friday morning, but looking at the models, it's just not jumping out at us right now. Definitely not super concerning, but again, the threat right now is being seen, so we're going to watch it for you. We'll watch the timing for you, and then of course as we get closer we'll be able to fine tune any threats, like if there's going to be any gusty wind or any kind of threat for an isolated tornado, anything like that. We'll be keeping a close eye on it for you. I hope you enjoy your Sunday, despite how cool and dreary it's going to be and kind of damp. Enjoy it, and I hope you have a wonderful start to your week, and we'll catch you guys here next time.